There comes a moment in your life where the noise outside no longer gets to you, not because the world became quieter, but because you stopped giving it access. You stopped letting every opinion shape your mood, every delay shake your direction. What if that was your reality? Not someday, but now. What if you could move through pressure without losing your breath? What if your energy didn't rise and fall depending on who liked you, who doubted you, or what the day threw at you? That version of you exists. It's not a fantasy. It's a decision to hold your center when everything else wants to pull you off balance. You don't need to be the loudest in the room. You just need to be the most grounded. And that begins when you stop letting the world lead you and start leading yourself. You've been trained to react. From the moment you were young, you were taught to explain yourself, to prove your worth, to chase permission. But every time you reach for external validation, you give away a piece of your peace. And eventually, you forget where your power lives. Real strength isn't reactive, it's steady. It's the ability to witness chaos and choose stillness. It's not weakness to stay calm. It's mastery. There's a kind of quiet that carries more authority than shouting ever could. That's the energy you're stepping into, not because you have all the answers, not because the path is clear, but because you're done letting your emotions be controlled by things outside of your control. You're done giving away your energy to things that don't deserve it. Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They don't fall apart because they're incapable. They fall because they keep bending to every wave, letting every mood, every comment, every setback decide how they show up. But you're choosing differently. You're choosing to become the mountain, not the weather. Think about it. Storms come. Winds scream. The skies turn dark. But the mountain doesn't flinch. It doesn't explain. It doesn't lower itself to match the chaos. It just stands, quiet, focused, certain. That's not arrogance. That's alignment. That's what it means to know yourself deeply enough that the world no longer has the power to shape you. And yes, there will be people who don't understand you. They'll say you've changed, that you're distant, that you're too quiet. Let them. They don't know what it cost you to become this calm. They don't know the battles you fought just to breathe, just to focus, just to make it through without falling apart. Let them misunderstand, because your life is not a group project. It's your responsibility and yours alone. You're not building a performance. You're building peace. You're not here to be liked. You're here to be whole. And that wholeness comes when you finally stop apologizing for protecting your space. There's a power in choosing what to carry, and more importantly, what not to carry. You don't have to hold every worry. You don't have to respond to every message. You don't have to fix every problem that isn't yours. Most of the weight you're dragging through life was never meant for you. It's the expectation to please, the fear of disappointing someone, the habit of proving your worth. Let it go. Put it down. That's not your job anymore. Your job now is to rise, to walk forward lighter, to stop letting the opinions of others decide how brightly you shine. You are not a dumping ground for other people's chaos. You are not the fixer of everything broken. You are the guardian of your own energy, and that role is sacred. There will be days when everything feels heavy, when your head is full of noise and your heart feels like it's carrying more than it was built for. And in those moments, you'll be tempted to collapse, to fall into the familiar comfort of quitting, complaining, or shrinking. But listen closely. The most important decision you'll ever make on days like that is this: keep walking. Even if your pace slows to a crawl, keep walking. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to take the next step. That's how resilience is built. Not in the spotlight, not when everyone's cheering, but in the dark when it's just you and your doubt. And you keep showing up anyway. People think strength is found in noise, in shouting your achievements, defending your value, proving yourself at every turn. But real strength isn't loud. It's invisible. It shows up in the way you carry yourself through disappointment. It shows up when no one is watching and you still choose discipline. It shows up in the way you talk to yourself when things fall apart. You can build a fortress inside your mind, but only if you stop tearing it down every time life tests you. Speak to yourself like someone worth fighting for. Be the voice that says, "We're not done yet," even when the world goes silent. Let your own belief carry you when nothing else can. And remember, not every storm is meant to stop you. Some are here to sharpen you, to strip away the unnecessary, to reveal what truly matters. Pain is a sculptor. It chisels away what no longer belongs. That's why the most powerful people you'll meet often carry the deepest scars. They've walked through fire, but they didn't let it burn them to ash. They let it burn away their excuses, burn away the old stories. They came out clearer, cleaner, more focused. Don't curse the storms. Don't resent the pressure. Let it show you what you're really made of. Let it call forward a version of you that comfort would have never revealed. You don't owe anyone your energy. Read that again. You don't owe an explanation to people who only show up to question you. You don't owe your time to people who drain you. And you certainly don't owe your dreams to a life that feels like a cage. Every time you say yes to what doesn't serve you, you're saying no to the life that could. Start protecting your focus like it's sacred. Start honoring your peace like it's priceless, because it is. You cannot create something beautiful when your mind is in chaos. You cannot step into your potential while surrounded by noise. Silence is not weakness. It's preparation. It's where vision sharpens. It's where greatness is born, and you weren't made to live in reaction. You weren't built to jump at every sound, to run every race, to fix every broken thing. You were made to create, to grow, to build something meaningful. And that can only happen when you start choosing where your energy goes. You don't need to argue to prove your worth. You don't need to explain your purpose to be valid. Your presence, your focus, your persistence, that speaks for itself. Let others run in circles. You walk straight. Let others waste time in gossip, conflict, chaos. You build quietly, because every day you choose silence over noise, action over excuses, presence over performance. You're not just surviving, you're transforming, becoming the version of you that no storm can shake. The hardest part of growth isn't starting, it's staying. It's choosing to keep going when the spark wears off, when no one claps, when the motivation fades. It's in the repetition, the unseen grind, the lonely hours where you wonder if any of this matters. But that's where transformation lives. Not in the noise, not in the applause, but in the silence of consistent action. If you can stay the course when it's no longer exciting, when it's no longer new, you'll build something most people never touch: integrity. That's the muscle that never shows but carries everything, the quiet strength that whispers, "I do what I said I'd do," even when no one's keeping score, especially then. Some days your only win will be not giving up. Some days you'll drag yourself through the mud with nothing but grit, and you'll question yourself. You'll feel like maybe you're not cut out for this. But listen to me, those days matter more than the good ones. Anyone can perform when they're rested, when things are flowing. But when you show up tired, uncertain, and still move forward, that's real power. That's when you're becoming something unshakable. Growth isn't found in comfort. It's born in friction. It's carved in difficulty. It doesn't always feel good, but it will feel worth it. Keep walking. The next version of you is just on the other side of that doubt. Think about who you were a year ago, the battles you faced, the moments you weren't sure you'd get through, but you did, quietly, without fanfare. You didn't collapse. You didn't quit. And even if you stumbled, even if you paused, you're still here. That counts. That means something. You are not who you were. Even if progress feels invisible, it's happening. The roots are growing even if no one sees them. So stop saying you're behind. Stop acting like you should be further along. Life isn't a race. It's a reveal. You're not here to speed through milestones. You're here to become someone real, someone resilient, someone clear. And becoming takes time. Don't rush the masterpiece. You don't need a stage to be powerful. You don't need a spotlight to have value. Power isn't in being seen, it's in being solid. It's in knowing who you are when no one's watching, when you're not performing, when you're not proving. That's the kind of confidence that can't be faked, the kind that walks into a room without needing to announce itself. Your greatest power is not your image, it's your intention. It's what drives you when things get quiet. It's the reason you keep getting back up. That's what separates those who burn out from those who keep building. Purpose. And you don't need to find it. You need to return to it. You already know. It's been whispering to you this whole time. You'll never regret walking away from what steals your peace. You'll never regret protecting your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. When you learn to step back, to pause, to breathe before reacting, you reclaim your power. The world wants you reactive, scattered, distracted. But when you slow down, when you move with clarity, you become impossible to manipulate. You start choosing what deserves your attention. You stop being pulled into every fire, every drama, every little storm. That's the shift. From survival mode to leadership. You're no longer chasing life. You're directing it. You're not here to be triggered. You're here to be grounded, to lead your own energy before you try to lead anything else. There's something powerful about being able to sit with yourself in silence and not feel the need to run. Most people fill every gap with noise, scrolling, distractions, small talk, because silence exposes what's really going on. But if you can sit with yourself, if you can face your own thoughts without judgment, if you can be honest about what hurts, what's missing, and what you're avoiding, that's where the real work begins. That's where healing lives. You cannot change what you refuse to confront. And sometimes the most courageous thing you'll ever do is stop pretending you're fine and start asking, what do I actually need? Not what they expect, not what looks good on paper. What do you need to feel whole again? Growth asks for sacrifice. It asks you to let go of who you were, not because that version was wrong, but because you've outgrown it. And outgrowing yourself is painful. It means breaking patterns that once kept you safe. It means leaving behind identities that once earned you love. But the truth is, you can't become new while clinging to the old. You can't soar while dragging the weight of who you used to be. At some point, you have to stop mourning the version of yourself that was built for survival and start stepping into the version of you built for expansion. There's no map for that, just a decision, a quiet one, made in a mirror, with no witnesses, just you saying, I'm done shrinking. Let this be the season where you stop negotiating with your limits, where you stop bargaining with your fears, where you stop telling yourself the same story about why you can't. You've played small long enough. You've doubted yourself into stagnation. You've waited for perfect and got nothing but delay. But now it's different. Now you're waking up. Now you're done handing your power to things that are already behind you. If you want the next level, you have to let go of the last one. No one's going to push you there. You have to decide. You have to break your own cycle. You have to stop waiting to feel ready and move anyway. Because movement is what makes you ready. Action is what builds belief. Everything you're chasing externally, peace, success, clarity, love, it all starts internally. That's the paradox. People spend their lives trying to fix the outside without ever facing the inside. But when you clean your inner world, when you take responsibility for your thoughts, your habits, your emotional reactions, you realize something wild. Most of what you thought were obstacles were patterns. Most of the chaos was coming from unhealed places you never paused to address. But now you're pausing. Now you're becoming conscious. And once you're conscious, you can't go back to sleep. You'll start seeing where your time leaks, where your energy drains, where your standards need to rise. And from that awareness, your future begins. You don't need to see the whole path. You don't need to have it all mapped out. You just need to move. In confusion, in fear, in uncertainty, you move. Because clarity doesn't come before action. It comes from it. Too many people are waiting to feel confident before they commit. But confidence isn't the starting line. It's the reward. It's what comes after the 1,000 quiet choices to keep showing up, to keep trying, to keep risking failure for the chance to grow. And yes, you will fail. You will fall. But every time you do, you'll rise with more truth, more resilience, more clarity. The goal is not perfection, it's evolution. And evolution doesn't wait for permission. And most people aren't held back by the world. They're held back by their habits, by the unconscious choices they repeat every day. Hit snooze again, scroll again, doubt again, delay again. And they wonder why their life looks the same year after year. But you're not most people. You're waking up to the reality that every moment you're alive is a vote for the life you want or the life you're settling for. So what are you voting for today? What story are you reinforcing with your actions? Because your future isn't created in big breakthroughs. It's built in small, repeated decisions. The moment you stop letting your feelings decide your direction and let your focus do the leading, that's when everything changes. And it's not going to be comfortable. Choosing focus over distraction will feel like resistance. Choosing discipline over impulse will feel unnatural. Choosing peace over reaction will feel like silence. But all of that is necessary. It's the detox, the unlearning. You've been wired for chaos, for instant gratification, for fast results, and growth asks for the opposite. It asks for patience, for discomfort, for self-trust. Every time you resist the pull to quit, to prove, to overthink, you're building something solid, something lasting. You don't have to get it right every time. You just have to stay committed. Growth isn't about perfection. It's about direction. It's about saying, I may not be there yet, but I'm not where I was, and I'm not going back. You're not here to be perfect. You're here to be powerful, to walk with integrity, to show up with intention. And that doesn't always look pretty. Sometimes it looks like tears in the dark. Sometimes it looks like setting boundaries that disappoint people. Sometimes it looks like resting when your ego tells you to grind. But real power is quiet. It doesn't need to be loud. It doesn't need to convince anyone. It's felt in the way you move through life, with clarity, with presence, with peace. That's what you're building now. Not a highlight reel, a legacy, a rhythm of self-leadership so solid, nothing external can pull you out of alignment. You're not chasing applause, you're chasing alignment. Every time you say no to what drains you, you're saying yes to what builds you. Every time you choose depth over distraction, you're making an investment in your future self. That's what most people don't understand. The results you want aren't hiding in some secret strategy. They're found in the boring, consistent, courageous decisions you make every single day. Choosing to be present in conversations. Choosing to move your body. Choosing to create instead of consume. Choosing to respond instead of react. These aren't small things. They are everything. They're the bricks that build the house of your future. You don't need a miracle. You need to keep laying bricks. And even when it feels slow, even when no one notices, even when the reward seems distant, don't stop. You are building something bigger than a moment. You are building a life rooted in truth, a life shaped by discipline, a life that reflects who you really are, not just who you were conditioned to be. There will be days when it feels like nothing is changing, but growth isn't always visible. Some of the deepest shifts happen in silence, in solitude, in the background of your consistency. Keep going, keep refining, keep rising. Because the day will come when you look back and realize it wasn't just the outcome that changed your life, it was who you became to reach it. You won't always feel strong. There will be mornings where you doubt yourself, nights when your mind spins, moments when the old version of you whispers, just quit. But that voice isn't truth, it's a test to see if you'll default to who you were or rise into who you're becoming. Strength isn't about never questioning, it's about never surrendering. You can feel afraid and still keep moving. You can feel tired and still keep showing up. Power doesn't mean being unshaken. It means knowing how to return to your center when life tries to pull you away from it. And the more you return to that center, the more unshakable you become. Not loud, not performative, just grounded, just real. The version of you that you're building, she, he, they will thank you. The one who doesn't second guess every move, the one who trusts their voice, the one who no longer needs to chase everything to feel worthy. That version is being shaped now. In the small, uncelebrated choices, in the quiet nights when you choose journaling over scrolling, in the early mornings when you stretch instead of snooze, in the conversations where you choose truth over people pleasing. That version is being carved slowly and powerfully in your habits. You may not feel it every day, but you are becoming. And when you look back, you'll realize it was never one big moment that changed you. It was 1,000 quiet decisions stacked in your favor. Let this be the moment where you choose for real. Not for a week, not for a mood, but for a lifetime. Decide that from this moment on, your peace is non-negotiable. Your energy is sacred. Your path is yours. You don't need to beg for support. You don't need to wait for applause. You don't need the world to understand. You just need to walk, to keep moving toward what calls your spirit, to keep showing up for the future you know is possible. Let others stay distracted. Let others chase shortcuts. You are here for something deeper. You are here to lead your life, not just react to it. And that starts with this choice, to rise when it's hard and stay steady when it's loud. You've done enough waiting, waiting for the right time, waiting to feel ready, waiting for someone to say you're allowed. You don't need more waiting. You need more action. You need more honesty. You need more courage to start, even if you're scared, because the truth is, no one's going to give you the life you want. You have to build it brick by brick, word by word, choice by choice. And yes, it'll take time. Yes, it'll feel messy, but you're not doing this for perfection. You're doing this for freedom, for clarity, for peace, the kind of peace that only comes from knowing this life was built with your own hands, your own sweat, your own truth. That's what you're building now, a life that feels like home inside your own soul. So here's your reminder, one more time, in case the world gets loud again tomorrow. You don't need to react to everything. You don't have to carry what isn't yours. You are not here to be shaken by every storm. You are here to become the storm's silence, to lead with presence, to speak less and move with purpose, to be the one who keeps showing up, even when it's hard, even when it's lonely, even when it's quiet, because real strength isn't proven in moments of ease. It's built in the fire of choice. And today, you chose to rise. So breathe, focus, and walk forward. You are not fragile. You are not lost. You are not waiting. You are ready. You are rising. You are unshakable. The world makes way for those who dare to rise. Click the Rise button now to subscribe and claim the destiny waiting for you. Your time is now.